Right, well, let's do it then. Okay, sorry guys for the delay. We're also having a little bit of a ongoing technical issue. We've never done a lot of live streaming before, so this is to be expected. So if you do get a little bit of a choppy image, we are sorry, we don't really have any alternative at the moment. But yeah, so we are logged in. I'm joined by Chris over here. Chris has also been experiencing a technical issue with his computer, so he's actually logged in on his phone, which is totally something that you can do if you want to visit the campus. I do want to just sort of stress that this is for the Bedrock edition. This is for Xbox One, I believe, and then also the mobile versions, and then for Windows Bedrock. So it is an open realms, and you can join at any time if you wish to have a look around. So I'm going to basically tell you guys today a little bit about the project, and if we have viewers joining from outside, we're also going to explain a little bit about what how our campus is structured and what to do there. Okay, so basically what we've got here, we do have a little bit of a view of the Biscuit Mill. This is located in Woodstock, in the heart of Woodstock. Not too far away from the Cape Town CBD is the Biscuit Mill, which is basically this interesting center of commerce, and right in the center we've got the silo building, which is our campus. So we've done a little bit of work trying to rebuild the whole campus in its entirety in Minecraft, and this is sort of a response to the whole COVID situation. You probably might hear a few villagers or llamas going on in the background, so don't be too distressed if you do see those things. Okay, so where do we start? Yeah, let me say something about this building that we see before us. This used to be an old silo, if you're not familiar with the Biscuit Mill. It used to be an old silo, hollowed out back in, I believe, 2013, 2014. And our campus is built inside that. It's also part of the wonderful Biscuit Mill, which has an array of shops and restaurants. Here is Reception, or rather Redemption, which has a lot of student specials. They sell burgers, anything really that you'd like. So we've also done the courtesy of rebuilding this place. But our real treasure trove here is the silo building, which is our campus. Right here at the ground floor, you'll see we do have our plaque up. This is the Cape Town Creative Academy. And here's some of the courses that we do offer, or the degree accreditations: communication design, motion design. We've got our Bachelor of Arts for the contemporary arts, and interaction design. Okay, so at the ground floor, we do have our library. We moved the library here last year, and it is a little bit of a down steep, and you can see that still some elements of the original silo building remains here, where you do have the funnels that used to funnel grain into, I believe, some sort of containers. But this is the library, and currently where I am now, it's a pity you can't see me, but I am sitting right over here, and Chris is right to my side over here, together with our marketing team. Right, so the library contains a number of books on design, animation, any kind of subject, and we do also have our extensive online library. And then, of course, we do have our reception. Tandy, as you can see, is not over here at the moment. She is not logged in, but this is where she would sit. And then we do have our marketing department there at the back. Of course, this is staff only, so I'm not going to show you that. And then we would like to go up, but of course the lift hasn't been done yet. We're thinking of sticky pistons or water elevators or something to that extent, but we're just going to keep that stuck for now. The lift is almost always broken, but we're not going to say that. They did a few upgrades earlier this year. So before I go up, this is the Contemporary Art Studio. This is what the students use to exhibit and also to do their various art projects. So while we're on the ground floor, might as well show you this. It's currently occupied by our third-year students, and they sort of use the space independently. They have their sink here to clean brushes and paints, We do have various workstations where all the studios do sort of put down their bright ideas and work on their art pieces. If we go up, this is the main entrance to the campus. We've got this lovely deck here. Students like to sit, have a smoke, have a chat, or just snack for lunch, and have this sort of like wonderful view of the Biscuit Mill. As we go in, this is the main entrance. Currently with COVID situation, we do use the side entrance over there, but in Minecraft we don't have COVID, so we're going to use the main entrance. The side entrance, of course, leads to the boardroom where very important people do go to sit. Currently, this little lobby is a small exhibition space that we use for all sorts of new artworks that do come up, and when we do have events, we like to occupy this space with a lot of art. And then on our first level floor, of course, this is the auditorium, where we present contextual studies for all years as well as business studies. And going into it, you can see that we have got a number of chairs here and a projector projecting any sort of interesting images that we have. So Chris, what subjects do you take in this room?
I take CS, contextual studies. So the nice history of art and design contextualizes our work very nicely.
Cool. What's the latest topic that you learned here?
Oh, topic.
Yeah.
Postmodernism most recently.
Oh, yeah.
And then modernism. And first we learned about the sign, which is very important when working in design.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very important. But of course, we do need that little bit of theoretical backing for to excel in the field of design. Okay, so taking a look at some other campus features here, we do have some, well, that's a water tank, I believe, and we do have a little kitchen area there. We do have our wonderful unisex bathrooms. There is real privacy, I promise you. This is just very convenient. Then we'll take the stairs up since the elevator is not currently pistoning. And this is Studio 2 on the second floor. Studio 2 is where we do our visualization techniques for the first years, as well as any sort of illustration work goes on here. And in the back there, we do have our photography studio. So here we've got some racks for screen printing to dry. We've got a big screen printing machine here. And then we've got the various tables and chairs that our students occupy when it is not in a COVID situation. Of course, in real life, we do keep our distance, and we have a minimum of students on campus at the moment. Moving into the photography studio here at the back, this is a place where we do have a lot of equipment, and our photography lecturer occupies this space where they sort of judge, all sorts of photographs and what have you. Chris, are you taking photography?
No, I'm not taking photography, but I hear it's great.
Yeah, it is pretty great. Our current lecturer is Tommaso. What is his last name? Well, very, very great. Okay, so we've got a bunch of equipment here, lights. We've got a little white curve there. Of course, we've got our equipment locker full of lots of camera equipment that our students like to use. And moving up a little bit, I should just mention that we do have our little server room back here. You can see there's a lot of spider webs back there. One would expect that in a server room. And then we do have bathrooms on every floor. Of course, these are unisex because we live in 2020. Moving up a little bit to Studio 3. We've actually got two studios in here. This is for design, communication design, and then our interaction design, and what have you. The studio is occupied by a lot of different spaces. All right, so we're currently standing in Studio 3A, and this is sort of, Chris is standing there where I usually present my class for my first years. And this is sort of where students will go and tool, they work on their laptops here in the center or draw on pieces of paper present their ideas, and we discuss our design ideas, and the execution thereof is usually done with the aid of some of the computers that are being provided. But of course, we encourage our students to have their own computers just to keep things profesh. Okay, then we do have some extra sitting space here. We have a bit of an open plan studio so that the students can move about and sort of just use the space as they please. Going back here, we've got a sort of intermediate space here that is sort of just a chill area where students can go. And then for our senior studios, rather our senior students, we've got Studio 3B, which is mostly dedicated to interaction design, and we explore all sorts of interesting topics in interaction design. And of course, this is a little bit smaller for our smaller senior groups. All right, so what we sort of try to do with this build is to sort of design an interesting match of scale to the real life. So we actually use things like floor plans and sort of just with the scale of our characters, sort of try to, in a sense, recreate a little bit of the scale in real life. And we have to sort of come up with some interesting solutions here and there. Of course, things like in Minecraft, things like tables and chairs are extremely hard to portray, but we sort of use what we have in Minecraft in interesting ways. So you can see, for instance, how we decided to do a iMac computer using a brewing stand and a picture frame. Was actually sort of a wonderful solution because you can even see bits of smoke coming out there. Tables and chairs, of course, steps, and we can use fences and wall carpets here to make it interesting. And then, of course, we're sort of repurposing blocks just to sort of create pot plants and bins. You can see this beehive here is for a bin. And just sort of approximating the world as it is. All right, going up a little bit. Sorry, my phone is going mad. Here we've got the student lounge and also the lecturers' offices and our motion design studio. Now, kids usually access by the lift. This area is usually quite closed for students, but we take it easy. All right, so we do have a little back entrance here that goes to the academic head's office. You can see he is a big fan of dogs, so his dog's over there. This is our lecturers' offices. This is where the lecturers go and sit and think about all the interesting courses that they are about to teach, do their research, all sorts of those things, talk about interesting ideas. And then we've sort of recently remodeled this area to include a bit of a cafeteria. There seems to be a lot of background noise here because of, for some reason, I decided to put in a lot of cats here. So, and we can also hear a bit of a conduit. I don't know if you're familiar with the sound, but we can hear a conduit whizzing away in the background. That's actually what's happening here at the top, where, no, I'll show you that in a sec. Okay, so our cafeteria is a great addition. We can't really see the lecturers in real life, and this frosted glass is a little bit harder to see through. And then, of course, the cafeteria offers some really cool, tasty goods for not too expensive. And the students sort of like to go and get a bite to eat and have a chill. Christy, you use the cafeteria a lot.
Yeah, when we're here pre-COVID and hopefully post-COVID, yeah, we chill up here a lot and do. Sometimes it's a really nice, quiet space to sit and do work.
Yeah, so we do have a lot of little tables for that. I think we recently got those little tables.
Yeah.
So I had to quickly jump in and update that. But we do have a bit of couches here, side tables, little tables to sit on. We're trying now to social distance for the next year. And this space is just to, use for students to use as they please. Yeah. And then, of course, lastly, we do have Studio 4 over here, which is our motion design and animation studio. We have a smaller studio just for sort of intimate encounters, one-on-one with animation and motion design. Students do need a lot of attention. And this is sort of where the wacky stuff happens. As you can see, we do have a little talking dragon head here going at it, a bunch of iMac computers, nice view, and a random sheep, which I assume that the motion design students are studying, perhaps to copy its motion. All right. And then on every floor, we do have access to the lifts. So this building is quite handicapable friendly. And going out here, we do have a little, I use this as a smoking area, but we do have our emergency exit, which has a nice little deck if you just want to sort of get out and get some fresh air. Of course, what's above us, I'm going to quickly go into flying mode. I don't think I'm going to use the secret door. And we do have the Potluck Club above us, which is a restaurant where they do have a lot of seafood. So we just decided to turn that whole floor into an aquarium, and that's where we do hear the conduit sound buzzing from. Cool. So as you guys can see, we also sort of meticulously designed the outside of this building. Trying to sort of get all the details, and we did that from using a drone shot, which you could also see in the preview, or rather the promotional video that was in front of this live stream. So the drone shots really helped us to sort of capture what's going on the outside, and we sort of tried to match those details where we could. Of course, with the new Nether update, we got a few really cool blocks. We got the black stone blocks, which really helped us to add detail where we could. And then we tried to capture the exteriors as best we could. Of course, the interior does sort of determine what we can do on the outside. And we were just sort of trying to capture the whole scale and the feel of it. Now, it being said, this is an ongoing project, so we do want to sort of add more to it as time goes on, thinking of little things to do, games and Easter eggs. Chris, as you can see through the wall over here, it's still trapped inside there.
Yeah, I can't push things, sorry.
Oh dear, okay, Chris is stuck for the time being. But we've got Chris and we've got Nathan, who are two dedicated builders who've been really, really key to getting all of this done. I think I don't really know how many hours we've spent on this.
Probably over 100 altogether.
Lots and lots and lots of hours to sort of try render this with our limited blocks and sort of solving the space and a lot of building and rebuilding. So our future plans sort of involve adding a little bit more detail into the surrounding biscuit mill. And we've done a fair job creating a few shops, which we've populated with villagers to run them. As you can see, they are over here making a lot of money. So we do have our various shops. Here's a tailoring shop. Now, these shops don't really have a big relation to the actual shops and shopkeepers in the biscuit mill, so please no lawsuits. And then, of course, we're sort of just expanding more and more. We do have some CA studios on the far end over there, which is also being remodeled for the next year into another building, which we'll sort of get to in the future, I believe. So being said, we did a sort of fairly interesting job trying to create a few prints that we could put onto our building. Of course, you know, if you're familiar with Minecraft, you can't just really go and write and put in your own graphics. You actually have to capture them on maps. So you have to capture the terrain from above. So we actually did that by rebuilding the whole logo. So trade secret how we got this thing to to manifest. It involved a little bit of programming, I can tell you that much. And just sort of seeing it from above, we were able to capture it onto a map. Cool. With this build, we also are sort of representing the interaction design department, which is, in a way, always trying to narrow the distance between us and our technologies, and sort of just the way in which we can try and reimagine the space a little bit is our attempt to bridge the gap that COVID has created for us, just by sort of allowing people to come in and reconnect with the space, even though it is just a simulation of the space, sort of trying to create a new feel for it. And it's quite interesting with the limited palette that we have in Minecraft, how sort of inventive we have to be to take something like a step, for example, to represent a chair, or a piston to represent a table, and just sort of working with our own sort of conceptions of shape and of space, and trying to sort of bridge the gap in communication, much like we do in interaction design, and sort of find our way sort of instinctively and sort of connect to this huge block world to the real world. So there is a big proportion shift in Minecraft, and it was just a very interesting challenge, very interesting ways in which we sort of trying to find the best solution for this. Right, anything else I can mention?
Yeah, I just think it's really interesting how we had to build this world in interaction, when interaction, well, for the purpose of marketing for interaction, where we build this world in Minecraft that is our world, but in interaction you learn to build worlds inside of the phone, so it feels like it works like the real world, like it works naturally. And I think that's a very interesting thing that we had to try and do through a piece of software that you would design in interaction. It's very meta, working through many layers of machines and world and machine and world. Yeah,
it is quite meta. Like a few times, sort of sitting here and building, you sort of lose your mind in it. Sort of think about the Minecraft world as the real world, and vice versa. It sort of becomes interchangeable in a bit when you put yourself there.
There's lots of good fun and learning, I think, which is what it says.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So the Minecraft world as it is hosted on Minecraft Realms, and we do have the link available. If you do have a Minecraft account, you can go back and you can visit anytime. At some point in the future, we'll probably have another stream to show you some of the updates that we've done. Right now, I think we are quite happy with the sort of progress and manner of expression, and we really aim to do more of this in the future.